but across the board. There were more penalties called in that game than about this says, wow, what a coincidence. They call a bunch of penalties, and isn't it amazing how scoring goes up? That's the thing. And this is what I've been talking about all regular season and all through the playoffs, is when you call frickin' penalties, then scoring goes up.
Yeah.
Lowest scoring we've seen since the early 1960s because we've had the least amount of power plays called since the early 1960s. And not only is it because of the power plays, guys, but it's because all of a sudden players are not able to take the liberties that they were taking defensively to clog up the offense.
I agree. And you know what makes me pretty nervous is Paquette tends to be pretty reckless. He's yes, please. Yeah. When Paquette's going down and he's trying to get a guy into the corner, he's trying to get a guy off the puck, he tends to be a bit reckless with himself. That's why he gets hurt so damn much. You know what I mean? You know, and that's the only thing that worries me. And obviously Matt Carl's been playing like crap, so I'm not too upset that he's maybe stepping out a game to see what Mike Barbario has to go. But even though Mike Barbario definitely does not have the skill of a Matt Carl, but you know he definitely has showed up in a few pretty good games. So what do you think about that?
Well, when we talked to Chad Schnarr, writer of Bolt Prospects, who has been a contributor to this show
BoltProspects.com, folks.
well over a year, one of my favorite people to talk to on the show time in and time out, and I look forward to getting him on again. He has never really been a big proponent of Matt Carl. He's talked about it. He's told us flat out. In fact, Chad was the one that suggested that you probably won't see Matt Carl next year. Even though he's still under contract, you'll probably see Carl be traded. He's argued for a while now, Chad has to us, that Carl does turn the puck over a lot.
He does, and he's not been playing well. I mean, he
looks flat-footed out there.
Can I tell you something honestly? He looks like Marty St. Louis right now. Marty St. Louis
Flat-footed.
obviously is not playing well. He's tripping over his own feet. He doesn't have the same gusto that he did. He's not playing good, and I don't feel bad that he's out. I mean, it sucks that he's not playing to his potential, but he's not playing good right now.
I tell you who looked dangerous, though. Another former Lightning player who you thought probably wouldn't play the first few games.
Oh, Danny B, yeah.
Dan Boyle.
Yeah, Danny B.
Dan Boyle looked fantastic last game.
He did. He looked a lot better than I thought he would.
How old is he? Because he looked pretty old, too.
He's in his
37.
late 30s,
Yeah.
37, 38. Yeah, we've actually had Dan Boyle on the show before. He's called in on the show. He was the first big get we ever got as an interview.
I put a couple of TVs and I laid some line in his house in Clearwater Beach with Jeff Little.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, very nice guy.
Yeah,
kind of a pain.
He was on fire.
Kind of a pain in the butt when it comes to getting stuff done, but love the guy. Nice guy.
But from the Lightning series to the Ducks-Hawks series, because at the end of the day, whoever wins that matches up over whoever wins between the Lightning and the Rangers, right? And
that's a tough one for me.
Who do you want if you're a Lightning fan? Do you want to play Chicago, who has tons of experience in the Stanley Cup Finals, or do you want to play Anaheim, who looks like a more souped-up version of the Capitals? You know what I mean? A big, giant, fast team that is very impressive. The Ducks are scary to me, guys.
The Ducks are very scary. And Bruce Boudreau has taken that team to a whole nother level.
The Penguin, Batman's arch nemesis,
yeah,
the
Mr.
Penguin.
Mr. Tomato Face is what I like to call him, because his face is always like beet red because he's like holding his breath. But they're intimidating. To watch them, Corey Perry on Hossa the other day. Did you see that stick incident?
No.
Where Hossa's got his stick, and he's holding it by almost the blade, and then Corey Perry's got a hold of his stick. And Corey Perry's just holding it. And Hossa turns around and looks at him, says something to him, and Hossa's just like, all right, screw it. You want to hold my stick? I'll just drop it. And then Corey Perry just took his stick and dropped it on the ground and skated off. And just those little bits of intimidation and the hitting has just been bonkers. I mean, Brent Seabrook is getting destroyed out there.
While you're talking about Corey Perry, Mike Milbury in the news. Mike Milbury, who you could call the American version of Don Cherry, let's face it. Well, I mean, let's face it. That's why he is on NBC Sports. They are looking for an American version of Don Cherry. They want a controversial figure, someone that's got a dissenting opinion, someone
that's gone into the stands to fight a fan before.
Someone that kind of pisses people off. And that's what Mike Milbury's for. He made a suggestion when talking about Corey Perry the other day that he's the kind of guy that plays so dirty that Mike Milbury suggested that if he were to play against him, he would intentionally try to injure him.
I don't blame him because
Perry took some exception to that.
Oh, he really did. He was pissed.
Now, what do you guys think about Mike Milbury? I'm not a big fan.
Did
of
you
his.
ever
I gotta be honest.
he's
To me, he's just a big freaking windbag. And let's face it, he wasn't really that accomplished as an NHL player.
No, he wasn't. Did you ever see that meme I put up of him with a duck's head on, and the duck was spitting poop out all over the place? That's exactly what Mike Milbury is. But you're exactly right on the Don Cherry bit. He reminds me of Don Cherry. He talks like Don Cherry.
Well, that's what they're going for. Clearly.
But him and Jeremy Roenick. Don Cherry is opposite. What's his name again? On NHL.
It's about Keith Jones?
No. On Coach's Corner.
You're talking about Bob.
No, it's your boy that's on Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah, your boy that chills out Don Cherry.
Right.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Gosh,
right
that's
now,
going to kill me because I've watched the.
Any Canadians out there listening, call in on this.
Yeah, feel free to call in.
I can't believe I can't think of his name.
813-438-6060.
Can't believe I can't think of his
It's
name. We're actually running out of time here. We're going to have to cut some stuff. But while we're in the hockey, Don Cherry also was in the news.
Was he?
Because the Mike Babcock sweepstakes. Mike Babcock, coach of the Red Wings, free agent, goes around. He's looking for a new gig. The Red Wings are hoping to keep this guy. And God, what a curveball on this. Now, what was funny is Don Cherry came out and suggested that Babcock would have to be crazy to go and coach the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is funny because Don Cherry lives in Mississauga, just outside of Toronto.
Right.
He used to own the OHL team, the Mississauga Ice Dogs. And I know I used to live right.
Was it Ron McLean?
Ron McLean. That's
there we
who it
go.
Is. I used to live right down. I used to live right down the street from Don Cherry.
I didn't say that.
And this guy said flat out that Babcock would have to be insane to go into the cesspool that is the Maple Leafs organization.
Yet he did it.
And yet that's exactly what Babcock.
Look
did.
at the paycheck he's got though. What, $50 million over what? How many
over
years?
8 years.
Woo.
An 8-year deal.
If a guy can
but
turn,
you know what? It's going to take 5 years just to make the playoffs with that shit heap.
Yeah, but if a guy can turn it around, of any coach in the NHL, Mike Babcock can do it.
I mean, he's clearly looking for a challenge by doing this. He's clearly looking for Babcock, obviously some of this has got to be about money, but some of this has got to be about a greater challenge. I mean, why would you go from a perennial contender to a team that hasn't made the playoffs in years?
Wife. Rumor is his wife hates Detroit more than anything. I bet it's the wife.
Well, who would love Detroit?
Yeah, really, I don't know anybody that
I'd rather live in Cleveland.
I mean, Toronto's a great city to live in. I lived there for years. I love it there. But the team is just a shit heap, to be honest.
They do welcome crackheads with their 25-cent crack pipes on the vending machines on the street.
The only people from Detroit that I've ever met that love Detroit are from Detroit. They're no longer in Detroit, so can't imagine how much you must love.
There's a reason for that.
Now, our coach, John Cooper, is from the Detroit area, isn't he? He's from in and around there. He grew up a Detroit fan. So, I mean, more power to him. Mike Babcock wants to leave. I'm kind of interested to see who's going to come up. I think they got that young guy from the AHL who's going to come up. I'm really sure that they're going to make him the head coach because they've been grooming him for a long time.
Yeah, that's what the story is that you're going to see the Grand Rapids coach. Grand Rapids is the farm team.
Yeah, the Griffins, right?
Grand Rapids Griffins, yep. Who are the farm team for the Detroit Red Wings. The rumor is that he's going to be the coach. They're going to bring him up. And look, if you're going to bring a guy up, if you're going to bring a guy in to coach your team, then why not bring in Jeff Blashill? I mean, this is a guy that has coached the younger players to play the same system that Detroit's been playing. And look, Detroit is in a bit of a renewal period. They're trying to bring up the younger guys. You know, Datsuk, as unbelievable as he is, Zetterberg, as amazing as he is, they're not getting any younger. They're getting a lot more injury prone. It is time now for the Gustav Nyquists of the world, the Tommy Tataros, all these guys that play for the Red Wings that are younger, the applicators, to take the mantelpiece, to seize the opportunity to become the stars of this team. And a guy like Jeff Blashill, who has mentored these guys,
yep.
He's the right guy. He's the right fit for it.
I think so. I mean, look at the success of John Cooper coming up from the lower leagues, who groomed
the triplets.
Three-quarters of the freaking team, it seems triplets. Like nowadays.
Now, while we're talking about the Red Wings, one last story before we go to break. We're running late again. And we're cutting out so much stuff. But you're talking about the Red Wings. Remember Slava Fedosov?
Bless you.
Vyacheslav Fetisov. Remember Fetisov?
I don't remember him.
You don't remember Fetisov?
No.
He was part of the famous KLM line. He was part of the Moscow Red Army back when
Oh, yeah.
when
Okay,
Detroit had the Russian 5.
You're right.
You know, Detroit in the 90s.
Because he was part of the Konstantinov line.
Number 2. He was a defensive partner of Slava Konstantinov. Yes. Name all the Russian 5.
Was it Slava Kozlov?
It's all OVs.
Kozlov, Fedorov, Konstantinov. Nicholas Lindstrom might have been a rookie around that time.
No, he wasn't on the Russian 5.
No, he was not. He's not even a freaking Russian, for God's sakes.
In the middle, you had Sergei Fedorov. You had Slava Kozlov.
Right.
On the wing.
Right. And Konstantinov's the one who got in an accident right
paralyzed.
after. Right.
You had Konstantinov and Fetisov on the defensive pairings.
Oh, God, who was the other one?
Chekasov.
We're missing one more OV.
Chekasov.
Jakov. No, who is that fifth one?
Oh, gosh. You know what?
Oh, you don't remember either. Good.
Even I'm stumbling on this one. But Fetisov in the news, and this is the irony of this. Fetisov, who made his career with Moscow Dynamo, with the Red Army team, and defected in his in his 30s to come over here. He was 31 when he came over.
Yeah,
through the Iron Curtain. Finally, when Russian players started coming over here, this was in 1989. Came over with the New Jersey Devils, then ultimately signed with the Red Wings and won 2 Stanley Cups. He is now a senator in Russia. And he just told the media, Russia's Our Sport news agency, that he supports a federal law that should be used to stop Russian players from moving to North America before they turn 28. Now, this is madness to me. This is absolute madness. So you've got a Russian player that came over here and made his career saying that Russian players should be banned from going to the NHL before the age of 28 years old.
What?
Yeah.
So
he's a Judas now. I mean, this is crazy to me. And when they interviewed him when he came over, he said that he was tired of being a slave to communism, and now it's exactly what he's trying to support. I mean,
you know what it is? It's probably money.
Well, it's politics. He's a politician now.
Yeah.
You look at all the successful Russian players that are over here that are 28 or younger. There's a lot of them. A guy like Vladimir Tarasenko, St. Louis Blues, leading scorer. Ovechkin just turned 29.
Tarasenko's
arguably the best goal scorer of our generation. You look at the Lightning. And all the OVs they have now. They have Nestorov. They have Nemesnikov. They have my favorite, Kucherov.
But you know what? Our guys know how to play defense. They purposefully don't put Ovechkin on defense because he can't play defense. You can hit all day long, but doesn't mean you can still play defense. Kucherov has been playing a great defensive game.
He didn't play last year.
Nestorov, Nemesnikov, those guys have been playing really well.
Well, guys, we got to jump to a quick commercial break. When we get back, Little Kim in the news. You don't want to miss this. Stay with us.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Ben. Oh, my God. Where we at?
You don't have the commercials
No,
ready?
I kind of do.
You've seen people who have straightened up from the TV show Intervention. This is a story of those who have been left behind.
Man, we can't even find anything, man. Your boy won't even talk to us without you around.
It's time to bring the recovering addict back to where he belongs.
Remember the last time we went out, we had them 2 hoes?
Freddy was with that crazy tranny.
I love you, man, but I need someone I can take advantage of.
Join us tonight for the premiere episode of Reintervention. Real life, real drama, real junkies.
I heard you was trying to go back to school, man. School ain't no good. All they trying to do is control you, fool.
Are we willing to lose lives left behind who don't want to be saved? Join us for the first season of Reintervention. Have you been minding your own business, only to have your day or evening ruined by a dirty animal? Well, at Bitch Be Gone Animal Control, we're here to ensure these pests won't bother you no more. We use top-of-the-line traps and hunting techniques to capture our prey so that you can get on with your day. Here's our boys in action.
Look at that. This one's been way overfed, Jimmy. Why don't you lay down that banana pudding trap? That's it. That's it now. A little closer. A little closer now. Oh, she bit me on the nipple. Get it. Got you, bitch.
Hey, what are you doing? Where are you taking me?
Sorry, ma'am. We got called about you pestering these gentlemen. We're just doing our job.
At Bitch Be Gone Animal Control, we guarantee to capture every sort of creature that may be invading your personal space. Give us a call at 555-GET-UGLY, and we'll come and rescue you from those pesky varmints. Here's our boys again on another successful rescue mission.
Okay, Billy. Before we go in, we won't be